like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, man. I'm Reece Fletcher. I'm a young entrepreneur. You know, I train kids. Got a little company called Ninja School. Train little children in martial arts, mindfulness and movement. I coach adults as well. I also do peer mentoring in primary schools for kids. I make music. I do everything, but my main focus is kind of working with exercise, movement, mindfulness, so like it's kind of spiritual, mental and physical health, well-being and fitness. So yeah.
Cool.
I like it. I was gonna say I like that. I always say that I like that.
Oh, what's that, chingy?
That's the tune that I always think about.
I was like,
or was it Houston?
Where the party's at?
I thought actually, is it
Houston? Isn't it?
Possibly.
The McDonald's.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Classics.
Wow.
People these days probably like, who's Houston?
From way back when.
So, what did you want to talk about today?
Today, I wanted to actually talk about communication. Quite a big, broad topic, pretty vague as well, but my mind moves a lot faster than my mouth does, so I needed a subject that had a bit of space to kind of play with it and stuff like that. And also as well, because I think my main thing is I'm good at communicating with people. I like to communicate with people in all different ways to allow people to kind of just release and be open with me and to just communicate ideas. I get passionate and stuff, so that topic in general I feel is quite natural to me. So
I mean, we were talking about it, obviously, when we were planning, like, what are we going to ask Reece? Because, like you say, it's such a big topic. And then we were like, how do we kind of... I think you had an example of something to do with communication.
Yeah, because I mean, sort of initially when we were first sort of talking about communication and everything, you were sort of thinking about like strangers and how we communicate with strangers, and like personally, like I'm such an awkward person.
Yeah, you are.
Like I remember, like I was in like a store the other day, and then like there was this woman, like she was looking at the same thing I was looking at, and she was asking me all these questions about it, but I just like I was sort of answering them, but I just got so awkward. And it's like after we finished like talking, I'm just like, do I say bye? Do I say good luck? And it's like I kind of got so awkward that I just walked off. I didn't even say anything. Like I just walked off. And then it's like, what if you run into that person in the shop as well? Like, do you then say like, do you continue the conversation? Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel really awkward.
Is it because you've caught yourself? Have you ever been doing something where you might have been dancing and you've been alright dancing, you dance all the time.
Yeah.
But as soon as you became very aware of yourself dancing,
Yeah.
that's when all of a sudden,
it becomes like,
you know what I mean, with crusty cracks.
I love that
with the
Yeah, definitely. But
yeah, you are really awkward communicating.
So
the other day she got an Uber from here and she made me speak to the Uber driver. I was like, Rowena, what? She was like, no, can you speak? And I was like, what? I was like, hello, where are you? But yeah, I think it is difficult. Like I went to a shop the other day and there was this girl and I went to collect something and she was like, your name's Temi? I was like, yeah. And she was like, my name's Temi too. And I was like, okay, cool. So I thought I was the end of the conversation. She started talking about Nigeria, talking about life, and I was like, why is she going into so much detail about this? But by the end of the conversation, when I left, I was like, oh, that was quite a nice exchange. I almost felt like I should have gone back and been like, should we go out one time? I was like, let's be friends. Honestly, I really did think that. And I was like, why did I not just feel more comfortable when I was talking to her in the first place? But I think it is that initial conversation with a stranger. It's like, what are your intentions? Why are you talking to me?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because you're like, you get kind of defensive as well. Yeah. Like, do you think? Like, I don't know. Like, why do you think that people are like that? Like with strangers. Like, why do you feel like we're so awkward?
I think we're quite. See, obviously the video won't have context, but we was talking a bit about ego earlier.
Yeah.
And humans are quite vulnerable. We're very vulnerable, we're quite delicate, but we like to pretend and imagine that we're not.
Yeah.
But really we're very vulnerable and delicate, and like the ego for me, I'd say it's our vehicle. in this world, right? Because if the fact that people use the term drop your ego means that we're not our ego, but we have an ego. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like some people might say we're a soul in this body, but like we're a soul in the body, but we've also got a mind, which is kind of like the ego, like the personality, right? And like the ego kind of flies through this world as our vehicle, and it collects things. So like it might start off like a blank piece of paper, but throughout your life you're collecting different colours and stickers and badges and and then we kind of associate ourselves, we forget that we were once empty collecting things, and we associate ourselves with the things we've collected. So then those things are because they're not really real, we kind of deep down know that, and it makes us vulnerable. So then when we meet people, they don't know about us as us. So then that thing can be destroyed very easily, or it might not be appreciated. They might not know that you're Bill who has all the Pokemon cards, you know what I'm saying? So you're like, I need to defend, I need to make sure I let them know who I am, but I need to, it's a weird thing, man. Man, but I think it's just like children can kind of do things and they just live the moment and they don't attach to it too much. And a lot of the world's religions talk about that, man. Like Christ, for example, Jesus Christ said, when the disciples asked him, who's worthy of the kingdom, he said, be like children. And that's kind of what I think about, because just like we said with the dancing example, when you watch yourself too much, you put pressure on yourself, you know what I'm saying? But when you just be that vulnerable thing, a child is very vulnerable, but they just live it. They're not like, oh no, I'm vulnerable, I better defend myself because someone might hurt my feelings or challenge my views, or I might seem like I'm a bad person. We're British, you know, British people are very, I need to be polite and I need to respect everybody and stuff like that. But where did these rules come from? You know what I'm saying?
So what do you think that people can do to sort of communicate better with each other? What sort of things you feel like people should or shouldn't be doing?
It's a life journey. It will be a life journey. It's an everyday effort of improving yourself and accepting yourself as who you are, you know, because again, sometimes I might be a little bit anxious around people or in crowds, but when I become selfish, actually I become better at being myself. And selfish as in, you know what, I'm gonna be me, I am who I am. They might not understand my whole journey, it's impossible. There's so much things to me, no one's gonna be able to fully understand you ever. I can't expect them to. And I can't, because of that, I can't care what they think about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they basing me on? They've met one tiny fraction of Reece. Even if they judge me, what does it matter? So when I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna be me. Like, this is my circle of energy. I'm just gonna go. That's when I'm very confident. And I find it's quite a weird thing now, because we're kind of in this spiritual evolution. Terms get used a lot more now that never used to, and I'm quite an empathetic person, not sympathetic but empathetic, and I genuinely take on the energy of others. I can be around people, especially people you care about. I can be around them and I go home and I can feel their vibration kind of with me, and man. But when I go into that selfish mode, and I know we've got a bad connotation with the term selfish, when I go into that selfish mode, I feel like I can help them better. Actually, because I give them space to be themselves without putting pressure on myself to have to help them. And then I'm allowed to then be myself a bit more around them, like, oh no, I need to think of a solution to help you. I can just be like, I'm here for you, you can open up to me, let's go through this together, and stuff like that. So I think finding that balance of selfishness and just getting used to being more selfish, I think will help us a lot more than we think it will.
I know we spoke about ego before. How do you define what an ego is?
It is quite a vague term. Again, it's another word that's got quite a bad connotation.
Like egotistical.
To me, ego is more or less, in general terms, it's kind of the thing that's not, it's weird to say, but it's kind of the thing that's not real. It's the world's influence. It's as your personality that you've kind of gathered. So it's your teachers, your parents first, your environment, your teachers, society, your friends. That's kind of your ego, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can do this, I can do that. Oh, they like, when I was younger, I used to be a joker. People used to laugh at me. So for the rest of my life, I'm Reece, who's the joker.
Yeah.
Oh, I had an incident with a dog when I was younger. I don't like dogs, so I'm Reece, who doesn't like dogs, and it's the joker. And I think that's kind of the ego. Yeah. But it's so fickle, and so many things can influence it that it can't be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can vary between person to person. But when we're naked and us, that's our true form, if you get what I mean. When we're around those people that we can fully be comfortable around with no pressure and stuff like that, I think that's our true form. So when people say lose the ego, I think it's just drop the battle, stop struggling against what is truly you, and don't worry about the shoulds and the rules and that, and just be you. And that's what I think people mean when they say.
Do you feel like if people sort of put their ego in check, like they would be able to communicate better, or is that what you're trying to say?
Definitely, but I think to put it in check you've got to be aware of it first. And I think it's a lot harder to be aware of yourself and your ego than it seems, because it took me getting to that place, the abyss, becoming really depressed. So like when the world really failed me, when I got to that point where I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, I tried things, I thought that I was going to be this. So like my ego took the first big blow. Like I realised my ego wasn't serving me. So like I was supposed to be the person that was whatever, going to uni and this and and successful and blah blah blah. And when those things didn't happen in the way that they were supposed to happen for my whole life, from the pressures of myself and those around me, I lost all ideas. I lost all ideas. I didn't know what to do, and that's kind of when the truth kind of first revealed itself to me, if you get what I mean. As soon as when I didn't know anymore, that's when I first thought, okay, damn, I'm looking at myself now. But it takes an event or things to trigger those things off. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know all the answers, you don't need to learn. And I feel that that's the thing today. Everyone knows all the answers. Even people will hear spiritual advice and this and that and wisdoms and blah blah blahs, and they'll go, yeah, I know that, lose the ego, don't be egotist, but they're not actually living it, they just know it. You know what I'm saying? And so they're
It's true. I feel ego also comes with expectations as well.
Yes.
The expectations you put on yourself and others. Because if you're expecting too much from people, your opinion or your perception of how something should be will change. I don't know what I'm saying right now. But expectations and ego, I think, go kind of hand in hand, because once, like you said, you had that big blow and then you realize that you almost have to drop your expectations in a sense, and then realize that, you know, it's not so much the way you kind of perceived it to be, and it's just about, okay, let me humble myself a little bit, let me tune out a little bit, let me get in touch with who I am a bit, and you know, whether that's spiritually, meditating, or joining a sports group or something like that, just to find yourself a bit more. I feel like that's so needed in order to kind of communicate with yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, self-communication. I think the self is always the root. That's why, like, speaking about selfishness, like before, self is always the root, man. And as we were saying earlier, no matter what people say about others, it's actually just a reflection of themselves.
Definitely.
And when I lost that thing, you become receptive for the first time, and I think not a lot of people are receptive. You know what I'm saying? We give the notion that we're listening sometimes, but we're not. We're just being polite again. It's it's an aesthetic. It's an image. So it's like I'm listening, and again, because I can feel. People can't lie to me. I'm one of those people, you just can't lie to me.
No, I just had to say something.
Wait, pause. Put everything on hold, right? Listening.
I just need to intersect because I'm feeling that so much, and I feel like that is the problem with people these days. Like, I saw something, you know, like when you go on like the underground station, they have like the thought of the day. I've seen one, and it was like people just listen to reply. They don't listen to understand, and I understand that the amount of times that have had conversations or have observed conversations with other people, and they're just waiting for each other to finish talking to get their 2 cents in. They're not understanding and processing and appreciating what that person said. They'll just say something that's kind of loosely related, but just about themselves. Again, it's about the ego. Listen to me, listen to what I've got to say. And I can't stand that, because again, like you said, like you're an empathetic, you feel like what people are saying.
It's like, I know, and I've been in arguments or talking to people, and I've been like, and I feel their energy become absent from me, and I say to them like, are you listening? They're like, yeah, I'm listening. But I know that they're not listening. But again, it's tough, isn't it? Because to really listen, you've got to drop your ego, which is you've got to drop expectation, and you've got to drop judgment. Because as soon as you judge what someone says, you no longer hear what they say, and what are you judging as well? Like language, communication on whole is weird, because language is a means to communication, but then language has now become a god. If you get what I mean. So like people go, okay, in the Oxford Dictionary it means this, so if you say this, you mean this. But no, language is kind of, it's so dynamic, especially the English language. There's so much new slangs and things like that. It's like sometimes you communicate something in the best way you can, and your vibration, your vibe gives what you're saying, not necessarily what you say is giving what you're saying. But then if someone starts judging you mid-sentence on what you're saying instead of the vibe, they become present from your vibe, and then now they're interpreting a madness, you know?
Exactly. And it's just the way how they see things, that's what they're listening when they're processing it, like, oh, she's a hoe, she's this, she's that, why did she do that sort of thing, rather than sort of just, like you said, taking it as what they're saying.
And again, because your ego's the collector, if you've experienced, if every time someone has said fuck, for example, let's take swear words actually. I'll take an example. One of my biggest heroes, inspirations, is my godmother. Big up Maria. She is a lovely woman, strong woman, and she has sworn at us since we were kids. Like she's just known as the person. She's just known as the person that swears. Fuck off. It's just mum. I call her mum, innit? She's my godmother. I call her mum. She even swears at her bosses at work. She breaks the rules. But because she's Maria, she can swear at you because people feel her. But then one time I rang someone a wrong number by accident, and I've been like, Bob or whatever the person was, and they've been like, no, this isn't Bob, and I've been like, oh shit, sorry, didn't mean to disturb you. And she said to me, you don't need to swear. but clearly you can tell by my tone and stuff that I wasn't swearing at you. It was just like, oh shit. To me, I don't associate swearing with negativity. You know what I'm saying? Like when your mate tells you to fuck off, you're not like, oh, I can't believe you said that to me. It's, you just said to your mate, oh, fuck off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think the words we say aren't important. It's how we communicate it, the vibe we give our intention behind it, and not just the mental intention behind it, but our flavor, our vibe gives the true intention of things. I think vibe's a little bit shaky for some people still. It's not a tangible thing you can break down and measure intellectually, so people kind of don't believe in it, but vibration is real. It's very real. And the first things they teach you in physics and chemistry and biology class in GCSE is that everything is vibration, man. So that's
an interesting point. And I really get what you're saying, because I remember reading something and it was saying that everybody's favourite subject is themselves. And it's so true. It's so true. I say this at work to like the people I work with all the time, because it's easy to talk about you. It's easy to talk about how you feel and what's going on with you, and then you kind of, when you want to seek advice from people or something like that, you kind of block out what they're trying to tell you and just focus on you, just constantly on you. But it's difficult, because how do you become so subjective that you don't? Is it subjective? Subjective. Subjective is when you don't associate your experiences, and then
so you
objective.
I think objective maybe.
I think objective is
I feel your vibe.
Isn't objective when you stand away from it, I think, and the subjective is when you're. But I know what you mean.
I don't have to speak anyway, but it's just understanding that people do come with their experiences and things like that, and it is difficult for people to put that experience aside and then give you advice wholeheartedly.
And I imagine sometimes I see I think about parenting, like, damn, it must be difficult sometimes, because, you know, sometimes parents are like, oh, they're bloody not listening to me, I'm the parent, I'm trying to help you. I'm sure everyone's heard that before, innit? But I'm trying to help you. But you got to give space.
I know, I was going to say in that same voice as well.
Like, why does everyone sound the same?
I know. It's the EastEnders. When I go to those extremes, it's drama associated. When I think of British drama, it's EastEnders, so it always goes back to East. But yeah, like, just because you tried to climb Mount Everest and failed, and your dad tried to climb Mount Everest and failed, doesn't mean that your kid's gonna fail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no matter how much you try to help someone, are you actually helping? Sometimes it's just good to listen, to hear someone out, and someone being truly listened to and feel like you're there with them, connecting and taking on their energy and sitting there with them. That's what helps them. It's not the advice that helps them. You know what I'm saying? Because then people start getting disappointed that you didn't take their exact advice. And I've spoken to my mum, like, big up to my mum as well, because she's quite an open person now. And I've said to her, and we've spoken, and I've been like, Mum, like, if I took your advice then, I wouldn't be here now. If I took your advice then and then, I wouldn't be. If I didn't, when I was a bit teenager, if I didn't lie to you and go out and drink and stuff, I might be obsessed with drinking now, and it might ruin my, you know what I'm saying? So everything is everything the way it is for a reason, so that we can learn we're our own people, man. And
it's all back to that internal voice, isn't it?
Yeah,
so just
man.
listening to it and trusting it.
Trust me, because that's with us from the get-go, and we kind of sometimes look at life as events happening, but it's not. Life is literally every moment. It's like an infinite moment, completely like the present, and in that infinite present there's always that voice with us. So we've got to trust it more than our parents. Like, even those that may know better, even when people know better and we take on their advice, it's like, take it on, but don't, it's not gospel. I was reading something earlier, man. There's a spiritual writer called Osho. I talk about Osho a lot. He's one of my favorite writers. And people like Jesus and Buddha, who had disciples. I think even Buddha, I'm sure Jesus probably did say this, but Buddha used to say to his disciples, like, eventually you're gonna have to forget everything I've said and go on your own journey. Like, one of his disciples said to him one time, you know what, I'm gone. And Buddha was like, finally, like, I've been waiting for one of you to leave me. You know what I'm saying? So it's that, like, as much as we love and appreciate our teachers and the advice that they've got and stuff like that, in the end, it's just the door, and we can't cling to the door. You know, otherwise we're not gonna move anywhere. Sometimes we've got to let go, man. And
because like you said, we are sort of all very vulnerable, and I think the more people realise that,
that is
further
okay
they can move
as
forward.
well.
It's
It's
okay.
to be vulnerable.
It's really true. I guess communication at the end of the day is always, you know, well, you have communication with yourself, but then it's with others. So, and you can't control how the recipient takes that information.
We're all in this together.
No, man, not the High School Musical does it. Just there.
But so maybe wrap this up. But thank you for coming on.
No, thanks for having me.
Tina
Thanks for inviting me.